Good morning, fellow traders. It is a quarter past 4 a.m. on Monday, March 11th, and this is the first market open day after daylight savings time. So hopefully you remember to set your clocks ahead 1 hour. So it is actually an ungodly early hour of the morning right now, but you have to just not think about it. So I am up extra early this morning. I got to get in to Stock Navigators HQ for day 3 of our latest technical trading accelerator program. Got an amazing batch of students this time around, so it's going to be a ton of fun. Today is our first day of live trading, so lots of fun to be had. All right, with that, let's take a look at the S&P 500, see what it's been doing. Really not a whole heck of a lot since it closed on Friday. We had this big push up, of course, and been waiting for the pullback, waiting for the pullback, waiting for the pullback, and it looks like we finally have gotten it. And additionally, I had put that before this day had happened, so that is actually where that belongs. Not that it makes a big difference. Right now, what I am looking for ideally is I want to see a retracement to somewhere down in this level here, somewhere between the 38.2 and the 61.8. That is what I'm looking for as an ideal retracement. So yes, we've come down and we've pushed back up, but most likely what I'm expecting to see is probably test the 21 EMA as resistance, maybe even poke a little bit above it, and then come back down further. So that is what I'm watching for. We need to see a good retracement because we had this big wave up, and this is for those who are familiar with this stuff, this would be our wave 3. And now we need to form a wave 4, and then we can have a wave 5 to finish this whole cycle up. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that pullback down into this area. Right now, on the 60-minute, you can see that the trend, the 21 EMA, has turned around and is pointing upwards. But that is just a lower high. We got lower lows and lower highs and lower lows and lower highs. So there definitely is a downtrend in action here. So that is the direction that we're going to be wanting to trade, is we want to trade to the downside because the daily chart is heading down and has reason to move further down. The 60-minute chart is down and is clearly making lower lows and lower highs. So I am looking for something to the short side. We'll have to just be patient and wait for the setup to give us what we're looking for. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. See what that market is doing. And what it is doing is basically moving sideways. We did have one brief little poke exploration back down into that zone, but it is clearly acting as a buy zone because look at the buyers. The buyers showed right up and pushed the price right back up again, up above the zone. So right now, very much a sideways market here in crude and just in a consolidation mode. So after a consolidation, is it going to go higher? You could make the argument that we had an up move here, and this is starting to look a little bit like a flag. So if this consolidates a little while longer and maybe just gets a little bit lower and lower and lower and lower, we've got what could be very reasonably deemed a flag pattern, in which case we're looking for an extension of about that distance to the upside. So that would be your potential target. I'm thinking from like 40, just call it 45 to call it 45 to 50. So, we're looking at, or sorry, 45 to 60, I meant to say, call it that. And so, we're looking for that kind of distance to the upside as well, or, 15 points ish or so to the upside would not be unreasonable at all, which coincidentally would take us to roughly somewhere, this range here, which is just a little bit below the previous highs. So I don't think that is an unreasonable target at all if this actually shapes into a bull flag and then we get a continuation to the upside. So I'd be watching for that. It's not there yet. That's what we're looking to see form. So getting in now would be a little premature, but if you are the aggressive trader type, you could do that. Just make sure you put your stop. Ideally, if your risk management can handle it, your stop should probably go below the low out here. But at a minimum, your stop really should be below the zone. So just keep that in mind and trade responsibly from there. You can very definitely see the sideways pattern here on the 60. It's just bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in these levels. So not a real clear trend direction on the 60. We need to establish that, and we might go sideways for a while longer yet. Could be a few more days, could be another week. Who knows? But at the point that it starts breaking higher, then you have a reasonable expectation of a continuation of this pattern to the upside. So watch for that. All right, let's take a look at gold. And gold got kind of whacked the other day. You had this huge sudden move down after a little bit of a sell off here, and then all of a sudden just bam, and broke the previous higher low. And right now it is seeing what it's going to do. Is it going to form a lower high somewhere and then come down and break this and be in lower lows and lower highs definitively? Don't know yet. But keep in mind that as a retracement from this level here, I was looking for somewhere between the 38.2 and the 61.8. And so far, we've gotten it. We've gotten to the 50%. Just kissed it. So that could be it for a pullback here. And in which case, we're looking to go higher. So we really need to see for a real trend move, we need to wait and see what gold wants to do. Is it going to break lower and do lower lows and lower highs? Or is it going to come down, form a higher low, break higher, and then form higher highs and higher lows to eventually challenge this level here? Right now, we don't know. It is unclear. On the 60, you can see market came down and then consolidated for a bit, and that's this right here, this section here. And at that point, it broke the consolidation and is heading higher. So on the 60, we are establishing a higher high. Now we need to establish a higher low somewhere in here. And if we can just get that, then we can attempt to break higher. But then we got other resistance overhead we have to hop over. We're going to have to get over, previous zones. We're going to have to get over the 21 EMA, get out of this channel, get over this zone here. So it's got a lot of overhead stuff hanging around. But it certainly can break through all of that. If the buyers show up and want to push this market higher, then it's going to go higher. Simple as that. So keep an eye on what this price does. Does it break higher? Does it form a higher low and break higher? Or does it break the lower low and head lower? That's really the big question. We want to wait and see what happens now. If you are an intraday trader, very short-term trader, then you can basically trade on these small moves here and just catch a little swing. And depending on what your particular parameters are for that, everyone's are different, but just watch for these moves to build, and then you can jump on and just grab a little piece of the move. You don't necessarily have to grab the whole thing. Trying to grab the whole thing is probably going to end up hurting you. So your best bet is just to try to grab one little piece out of the middle of a move, something like that. That is your best bet as a trader. If you can get 30%, 50% of a move, that's really quite good. You can do very, very well on that. All right, natural gas has turned around and kind of looks like it's formed a bottom in here. Right now, it's just sort of going sideways, but it's potentially building up for something. Which way is it going to go? We really need to see, does it break down and take out the previous lows, in which case the pattern of lower lows and lower highs is intact, or does it form a higher low and then break higher, taking out this higher high? That's what we need to see. We need to give it a little bit of time to play out. Right now, it's just kind of going sideways. On the 60-minute, here's the sideways portion here, and it has come down and it has just re-kissed this zone right here. We're right in it right now. So does it break below that zone, or does that zone hold price and send it upwards? That's what we're waiting to see. So to see the pattern of higher highs really continue, higher highs and higher lows, we've got to take out that level there. We really need to get over this, which also happens to coincide with this zone here. And price is going to need to get over that in order to have any chance of challenging recent highs, let alone getting back up and challenging highs from further back. So there's a lot overhead for natural gas to climb over. There's also a fair amount, whoops, wrong thing. There's also a fair amount of support below. We've got these two fairly significant zones down here. The bottom one especially. Yeah, okay, my data does go back that far. The bottom zone is from actually to the left even of here, but it coincides with this previous bottom here and the market turning around. So if price does break below the low here, that's actually excellent for the longs, because it's setting them up with a potentially great entry somewhere in this area, these two zones. So you have to just see which one of them holds and reverses the market. But certainly if it gets down in here, you're waiting to see
stabilize, see price come down in here, stabilize, and then start to leave. And then that is a fantastic entry right there. So personally, I would love to see natural gas get down in that area because that would just make for an incredible entry. Don't know if it's going to do that or not. We'll have to just wait and see. Does it form the higher low and break higher, or does it break the lower low and break lower? That's crude. And let's finish up with Bitcoin, the crypto market. And Bitcoin is, kind of trying to inch higher. It's kind of got this sort of slightly sloppy parallel channel here, but it is trying to inch higher. But still, we're just stuck in this quite large range here, sort of going nowhere. We have popped out of this wedge. We had this wedge shape forming, and we certainly have popped higher than that, came back, tested it as support, held, and now are looking to go higher. So there is some potentially bullish action happening in Bitcoin. It's not anything I can yet say definitively, okay, that's it. The trend is up. We are in a bull market again in crypto. It's definitely not there yet. We got to get over this 1415 level. I keep bringing that level up. And right now, that is the lower high that we need to conquer as far as the bulls go to move to the upside. Now, to the downside, we need to take out this low here. And right now, it's just been trapped between the two areas. But remember, this is crypto we're talking about. This is Bitcoin. So those two areas are a huge range. I mean, we're talking over $1,000 range in there. So, that is massive. That is monstrous. The entire price of Netflix or Apple could fit in some of these one-day single moves that Bitcoin does. So there's a ton of volatility here. And of course, on the intraday, that volatility can be played, but as I have said so many times before, it's just so fast. They happen in the blink of an eye. So you really have to be watching this market, or you have to have some kind of automation in place to trade for you in order to really capture any of those moves, because they're here and gone just way too quickly. Now, all of that being said, we do have beginnings of an uptrend happening here. We've got higher highs and higher lows trying to form. So, this is on the 60-minute. This is this playing out. This here, higher highs and higher lows. So we do have a little bit of a trend starting to form. But again, it's just very minor right now because we still have to get over that level. And until we do, there's really nothing to get all that excited about. Price could easily come right up here again and then crash down. So don't get too excited by this. As of yet, we have not established that we're heading to the upside. It looks like perhaps we've formed a bottom back here. Price certainly hasn't been able to get back down there again. One could make the argument that this is the absolute low, and then we have our first higher low. That is a worthy argument, but we don't yet have that higher high. So until we have that, I can't definitively get on board with the idea that this is the bottom. So right now, crypto is just kind of in the middle of nowhere from a long-term perspective, just right in the middle of nowhere. All right, that is it. I got to get ready to head into HQ, start our fantastic day of live trading with the students. So once again, I am Jonathan Van Clute with Stock Navigators, and I'd like to remind you, if you are not already subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up as well. The thumbs ups on the videos really help us know that people are liking these videos, finding value in them. And of course, your feedback and comments are always welcome. We definitely read every single one of them. And anything that you've got to let us know about what we're doing, how we're doing it, what we could do more of, what would help you more, etc., please let us know. We will take it to heart and see about implementing it as quickly as possible. All right, that's it for me until Wednesday morning. I will be back again at the usual time, which will be 5:45 a.m. Pacific time. And I guess that is it. So until Wednesday morning, trade well, everybody. Bye-bye.